Man, I got a little intro. You mind if I read the intro?
Let's go.
Okay, this is the one thing I'm really gonna pander to the audience, because I gotta introduce you to them, and then after that we're just gonna go off.
Okay.
All right, cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest today. To my right, we have an incredible musician, someone who on the surface you would notice he is a very talented recording artist, keyboardist, vocalist, arranger, an amazing arranger, producer. But to me, he is much more than that. He's also the creator of Dreamsoul, which is just a beautiful idea. I'm sure we will talk about. Mm-hmm. He's worked with just a very long list. I'm gonna name a few.
Okay.
Mind Design, Joyce Rice, Masego, Kirk Franklin.
Yep.
Many more. It's a very, very long list. He's a multilinguist as well. Speaks a few different languages. He's also a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Devin Morrison.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Good, man. Good. It's been a busy week, but I'm blessed. Thank you for that intro. That's very, very kind and sweet.
Oh, dude, of course. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, man. How you been?
I've been good. Yeah, just making music and doing this, honestly. A lot of these. This has been really fun, yeah.
I've been peeping, man. You know, I peeped in with Ringo. And,
well, we did a test taping a while ago, and then we never followed up on the actual.
I know.
Taping.
That's cool. This kind of gives us a chance to get it right.
Yeah, man. But dude, I was doing a little homework this morning, going through your discography again, which I've done over the years, but this time a little bit more intentional, trying to do my homework, so to speak.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm sick. I'm sick, bro. There's so much amazing stuff. I can't even keep up with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
crazy,
man. I'm just trying my best out here, bro. It's weird because I just want to do the weird stuff all the time. You know what I mean? And it's like I just want to be free and creative, but it's like, people aren't going to get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of felt a bit of that when I started the Dream Lobby series,
Bro, that was such a big step for you, man.
The funny thing was, it wasn't even that. Like, it was just, I had all these tracks that I was like, well, I'm not doing anything with these, so I might as well just make a collection of, instrumentals, and that's what it ended up being. And I have a very, fond relationship with it, but I feel like some of my fans who are used to busting, they're like, yeah, okay, this is cool, but where are the lyrics?
Yeah, but I mean, so maybe not a big step for you, but a big step for your audience to see that
for sure
publicly, because I think that's one of the best qualities you have. You're so prolific. You make so much stuff, and I think it seems like you're just exploding with ideas all the time. That's what it seems
Sometimes I'm just like, what's a chord again? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
But a lot of times there's a lot going on in there, and it's funny. My professor would always tell me this. My composition professor, she would say, inspiration will find you working. Woo! And so sometimes when I'm going through something, I'm just like, man, I can't. Sometimes you just gotta go a little bit deeper and just tap in a little more. Then you'd be like, oh wait, there's something.
Yeah, inspiration will find you working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all too often I have students that I've talked to, or people who call in and ask questions, and all too often it seems like they're like, I can't find inspiration, and it seems like they wait for it.
Yeah. I'm through my phone over here.
Oh, it's all good. It's a popular man, busy man. No, it's like some people wait for inspiration before they work, but I think sometimes, I think inspiration will find you working.
And there's nothing wrong with that either, man. There's no right or wrong way to this.
That's true.
I've written a lot of songs from the shower. Just like you're in there inadvertently, you think of something, and oh yeah, I think that's how No happened.
Woo!
Yeah, was like, I was in the shower and I was like, ooh, that'll be fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's one of those. That I think that might be, that's like a top 5 Devin Morrison song for me.
Yeah,
that's up there. That's up there. Oh yeah, play the chord changes. Yeah. Woo. Oh. Oh.
Blah, blah, blah.
Bro, chord changes, man. Some chord changes, dude. I wrote down a few of them here as well.
You did?
I wrote down a few. I got some questions. Some of these I got really confused. It sound incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Where
Let's
did
hope I can remember some of them.
Where did I put it? Is it right here? Here they are. Oh man, we got to talk about. I got a few here I want to talk about. Sarah Sahara, I want to talk about.
Ouch.
Yeah. Sarah Sahara is crazy.
Oh man.
There were some moments in there that were just messed up. Wait, actually I want to do this one. Oh man. I mean, I need a Valentine actually. G major. Woo! Bro. This right here is the best part. Can I play what I understand that to be?
Please.
I think what you did.
Uh-huh.
And then tell me if I'm wrong.
All right.
Is it this?
Yeah, exactly.
And I just love that melody.
That's how you know I wrote the chords first.
Really? Wow. I guess, that makes sense. Yeah. Because it's just so, like, you do this so well. It's like, you have these, like, twisty things. It's like, the melody goes this way, and then you think it's going here, and then it goes here, and then it, like, right when you're, like, getting used to it here, it's here, and then it's here,
We can thank we can partially thank my toxic relationship with, like, not wanting to be predicted or predictable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always want to be like, nah, gotcha. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, you're doing it all the time.
Thanks.
This is one of those moments. It reminds me kind of the chord change on the With You, the Joyce one.
Yeah, that was a weird one, man. That was another joint where it was like, yeah, let me just play these chords and figure it out later.
Dude, yeah. How do you even write? Like, so is that another like chords first one? Yeah.
That one, and it's funny because I normally try not to do that because I feel like it does kind of, in ways, kind of restrict where I can go melodically.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a lot of chords and a lot of wild chords at one time. But for that one, it just kind of worked. I felt like there was enough 2-5-1 relationships for me to be like, okay, well, it's fine. We'll figure this out.
Yeah.
When you have all those, when the circle of fifths is present, you can always come up with some kind of cool melody.
That's true.
You know that.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with the circle of fifths as well. Yeah, dude. There's some really, really cool stuff in here, and there was a lot of stuff that was reminding me of like that. Well, I mentioned Kirk Franklin earlier. Kirk Franklin or like Marvin Sapp type. Yeah. Like there was in Sarah Sahara, you had this 2/5 that was like.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
I can't remember which part of the tune it was, but you go like stuff that sounds like this. I can't find it. Here. Oh, I messed it up.
Oh, that's Veronica Flair.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah. My dreams. It's Veronica Flair. Yeah, that was Veronica Flair.
Dude. See, when I heard that, I was like, I know I've heard this. It's like that's definitely like oh, it's all good. That's definitely like a modern gospel thing that I hear a lot.
I guess so. I mean, that's the root of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? There's a part in that song where people are always asking me, like, "Yo, did you get that from Zelda?"
Which one? I love that chord change. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I was like, not on purpose, but I guess that did kind of happen. You know what I mean?
Dude.
You know?
Yeah. I was nerding out this morning.
This is such an honor for me.
Oh,
to have you writing my chords down.
Bro, are you kidding?
I remember, man, like back in the SoundCloud era when you was dropping those joints, like, oh man, I played your stuff so much, bro.
Oh, dude, man, but we occupy that same generation, we like the same, we're into the same stuff,
Yeah.
So it was like the same, like, because the first thing I heard from you was Ayako, actually.
Word.
Yeah. So from your Japan days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that this is like the only place where they can actually see the actual notes of what I'm playing in these songs.
Oh yeah. You know
what I'm saying?
I gotta fix it. I keep on putting the Spotify over it.
No. Let them see only the keys.
I can take that off if you want.
No, it's fine.
We don't need it. But dude, yeah, man, you're writing some really awesome chord changes.
Thanks,
I was getting fired up. Dude, I was actually on the treadmill. What's going on?
You mentioned Ayako.
Let's talk about it.
I have a fun fact about Ayako.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, so play. There's a song by Larry Carlton and Lee Ritenour called "Low Steppin'."
Woo!
Pass me that basketball. I won't miss. I won't airball your heart.
No, I'm not a selfish man that wants to score. Let's go.
Yeah, so my pops had this CD and he played it so much.
Dope.
So I remember being like, man, what are those chords? What's chord?
I think it's like a.
Oh.
I think like an altered. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love those chords. So I wrote something of that.
Man, that's so cool. Yeah, dude. So, bro, I gotta say, because this is like starting to like make me think of something else I want to ask you about. Because, like, I was watching that interview you did with it was like a Brazilian interview you did.
Yeah, with Mayuso.
Yeah,
that's my dude.
So dope. And so you were talking about how Dreamsoul, the 3 pillars of Dreamsoul are nostalgia, spirituality, and surrealism, which, like, to hear you say it out loud is like, that's already obvious to me from listening to your music.
Word.
It's coming through. But then I was also thinking the other part is like, which is not maybe it's not a pillar per se, but it's like just an aspect of your musicianship is that you're so worldly, dude. Like you listen to like stuff from everywhere, it seems.
I don't know when I think Japan was the beginning of that for me.
Okay.
Because I got really into video game music. And so naturally I got into who inspired them, which was like, Ryuichi Sakamoto and those cats. And then, as you travel more and you see more of the world, you're like, wow, like this is crazy. And I remember when I was like 20, 21, my brother Dedrick Lax, he showed me a DJ Von song, Flor de Lis, and I was like, what is this? Like, because the progressions were so like, but the melody was just as strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was just like incredible,
Yeah. Yeah, Brazilian music, definitely.
Dude, that's the
Although
whole
you're on
rabbit hole.
another tip of Brazilian music than what I haven't even gotten into that stuff yet.
Word. Like what have you been like tapped
For
into?
me is more like the fusion stuff. So it'd be like IR2 or like Egberto Gismonti is my favorite.
Azimuth.
Yeah, Azimuth or like Hermeto Pascoal or Milton. Milton Nascimento is my favorite.
Milton is like
Yeah.
music god.
Yes.
I mean, God is God. But,
Say it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
as far as songwriting goes, it's like that's kind of the pinnacle. Like he is just insane.
Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, and then obviously Joe Beam and stuff like that. So coming also from like the jazz side of things, like Sergio Mendes, but I haven't gotten into like the stuff that you're into, because I seen you made a list, like you had your top 10 Brazilian on your Instagram recently.
Shoot, that wasn't really a proper list too, because there were some names on there that I was like, who are these people? And there were some names I was like, where is
that's like where they are throwing the names that you got to pick. Yeah,
I'm like, okay, this is what I'm picking from. All right, DJ Vaughn at 1, Milton at 2. I think they had Georgie Benjor at 3. Whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, man. I'm trying to think, who was I listening to? Oh man, Yvonne Leans. You talking about some chords?
Oh yeah,
dog.
I still haven't. I'm still not hit.
Dog, yeah, we gotta have a session one day and just like listen to this dude. He's
hell
insane.
yeah, dude, I'm so down.
Yeah,
I'm so down.
He's nutty. He's real nutty.
Yvonne Leans. Yeah, I think my teacher in college made me do one or two things, but I totally have not gotten back into it. I need to.
Yeah, there was a song that he wrote called September that Quincy Jones covered in one of his albums. And to cover an Yvonne Lean song, Quincy Jones got Gerald Albright, George Duke,
whoa,
Take 6, Sarah Vaughan.
Whoa. Jesus.
I'm forgetting somebody. Gosh, Lee. For now, that's all I think. There was someone else, though. There was... Oh, George Benson.
Oh, wow.
To cover this song, and it sounds crazy. So crazy. So crazy.
Yeah, it's over the top. That's amazing.
So it's funny, because I remember hearing that song many, many years ago, and being like, wow, this is amazing, and not knowing that it came from a Brazilian artist. So life is funny that way.
Yeah. Dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a question here that was similar to that. This is actually really funny, because I was curious if going to Japan had a part in that, in just like becoming, just making the most creative music possible, which is what I think you're all about. And I literally wrote down, when did your brain explode? because I'm just like, it's very creative. It's the most vibrant music, I think. You make music that's just extremely vibrant, I would say.
Thank you. You know what I think really kind of blew my mind, especially like during my mid to late teens, was like video game music, man. Like that was really the thing. Like Masashi Hamauzu, I was obsessed with him. Like I studied everything he did. Nobuo Shisano, and then that led me to like Ryuichi, which I mean, I got him tatted, so that explains it. I mean, he just, because there was so much depth, and that was what I thought was so like awe-inspiring, because he was tapped in with the classical stuff. He did his degree at Tokyo Gaidai, got his master's degree in musicology, and so when you hear his works, especially early on, you hear so much classical. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can hear like other little stuff, like whoa, ooh. That's something else. You know what I mean? And he would just kind of sprinkle it all. And yeah, dude, that he really wrecked my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, his music really, Rest in peace, man.
Yeah,
seriously.
Rest in peace. Yeah,
seriously,
just this year. But it's like
it's baby when he died.
It's like it's video game music, it's Japanese music, it's city pop, it's Brazilian music. It's
and he did all those things. That's what's so crazy. He did all of those things. He had a city pop run where he was producing records for like all those, like City Popcast. And then he had like the YMO, like the pop era stuff. Like he was just doing like, you know, electro pop. And then he went like straight ambient.
Right.
You know, and he would do like some atonal stuff. And I'm just like, what is... You can't pick a thing. That's why I can't welcome the notion of like stay in your lane. What lane?
Right.
I don't have one. I gotta do all this other stuff because he did.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Stay in your lane. Yeah.
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 I don't have
you just
one
put
lane.
it. Yeah. Why?
And I don't know if that hurts me as an artist. I feel like it might in this industry. It's like they want you to be this one thing so they can compartmentalize you and be like, yeah, Devin's our 90s R&B guy. But it's like, that's just one pillar of all of this. Like,
yeah,
there's so much more, and I'm afraid to show y'all. Because you're not going to welcome it as much as you did this thing because you're attached to that thing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I think about that too. It's hard.
You know?
That's hard, yeah.
And I love that. I love when artists do a thing that's different than what their fans are used to. I love it because it's scary. It's scary, you know? People don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They're afraid to lose their fan base. They're afraid to, you know, make them uncomfortable. But it's like, the legacy I leave behind as an artist and as a composer is more important than whatever kind of acclaim I get. It's like...
Yeah. And what kind of legacy would you like to leave then? It's a tough question, I know.
It is.
It doesn't have to be.
It's a weighted question.
It doesn't have to be set in stone, but
of course, I think right now, in this current day, what is it? Saturday.
It's a Sunday, August 25th, 2024.
On this current day, I want my legacy to be that I was selectively prolific. And potent in content, and that whatever I did was inspiring, you know. And I looked out for those who love me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know, that's all I can really ask for.
That's dope. Selectively prolific is dope. And I think you have that. You are extremely...
I have that now.
You are extremely... You already have it. You can stop. No.
There's been some times where I was like, I gotta get money.
Because you are prolific. You get so much... There's just stuff pouring out of you all the time, and yet you're very discerning about your sound. Very discerning.
Thanks, man.
Which is like so hard to do. Yeah, that's something that I feel like I don't really know how to do.
It's hard to do, especially when you gotta pay bills. You know what I mean? Like me and Ringo were joking about like, man, what if you just got paid on like how good your music is? Like, ooh, you use that chord with that chord?
God.
Yo, here's $5,000.
That almost turned into an evil laugh. That'll never happen.
If that was the metric,
no.
man.
Gosh, man.
Golly.
It should be.
We'd both be just quadrillionaires.
We'd be doing pretty well,
You know?
I think. Sorry.
I think so. Nah. I'm gonna big you up. You be rich.
Man, that's hilarious. Oh, man, yo. If only. Yeah, it's yeah. But you know what? I think that it's extremely rewarding. You know, it's... Yeah, there have been times where I've like really tripped about like, oh man, what if I made the best move? Like, what if I made the best thing? Like the thing that would like take me to the next level. And I never decide to do it. I'm just gonna play piano, and you know what I'm saying?
I be thinking about will I am in it.
Oh yeah?
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means like doing what y'all want me to do. No matter how cheesy it is, to make the money and then be like, all right, done with that. So about this about this 12-tone serialism symphony I'm working on.
There you go. I mean, yeah, I definitely thought about that too.
I wouldn't make that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not make that. But I mean, you know, the idea of making something for y'all just so I can get this bread and then, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
Dude, yeah, I think for us we can't help it. Dude, I literally had Devon over here, DJ Harrison over here like 2 days ago.
Man.
So, I'm gonna have my big three, like when it's like it's you, DJ Harrison, and Mind Design. That's
what?
Like my big
wow,
three. That's a big three right there.
That's crazy. I'm honored to even be
that's a big three. Think about it. It's a big three.
That's a big three.
That's like the Miami Heat big three right there. That's a serious big three. But dude, the level of conviction that he speaks with about like how serious he is about like, you know, making his music and doing his thing, and I get that energy from you as well.
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, like when I was listening to that interview that you did, the one I referenced, the Brazilian interview you did, where you were talking about, you know, your spirituality and your, and also your past, like with regards to being in Japan and being homesick, and like these are like very real and like deep elements. You know, it's not just like, oh man, like chords. You know, it's serious, man. It's like
thanks, man.
Your music is coming from a really, really deep place, I think.
I feel like too deep sometimes, you know. I feel like, I don't know, that, and that's what the Dream Lobby series was for, because I was like, look, I'm just gonna do what I want here, and it's gonna be smooth, but it's gonna be weird sometimes, and the people who love it, and I love that, you know. But you know, everything ain't for everybody, and that's cool. You know what I mean? But if you're watching this, you should definitely listen to the Dream Lobby series. Thank you.
I couldn't recommend it more. I was flipping out this morning.
It's a fun time.
Because I'd listened to it before, but then I looked, I was like, there's 10 of these? I was like, what? Dude, I don't know why I didn't really put it it didn't register that there was that much.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
You know what felt good? There's a song from the first Dream Lobby, Volume 1, that I played with Ringo's band in Japan at Billboard Live.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Welcome to Dreamsoul. And it was fun because with this particular piece, I was trying to illustrate the three pillars, you know what I'm saying? So there was like, you know, the spiritual aspect, just being, you know, I come from church, it's gospel. There's a lot of gospel harmony in there. Then there's, you know, the nostalgia, it just feeling like some, you know, 92 Quiet Storm stuff.
Yeah.
And then the surrealism, which was like, there's a lot of whole tone movement. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, how can I, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I remember the chorus, but.
Woo!
And I remember us playing. I'm just like, this is so fun because this is so weird.
That's beautiful, though.
Thanks, man.
Dude, when I went to music school, I had this professor named Dr. Newton, and he had this theory that at the highest levels of Black American music, you have composers that are not only make spiritual music, but the word that he used was misterioso, which is a Thelonious Monk term.
Interesting.
And basically, just the element of mystery or strangeness. This is Sun Ra. This is Thelonious Monk. This is Duke Ellington. Who else would he put in there? Miles.
Okay.
Miles, the strangeness. And so you have like your own version of that, which is the surrealism. You know, and when I was listening to this last record, the Dreamsoul ballads, and I was just like noticing, like, you know, you'd have like an outro where like the chord changes just like completely go to like a place that is not, you know, of this earth. You know, I think you're doing that, dude.
Thanks, man. That's just me trying not to be bored with my own self. It's just like, what can I do to make this fun for me?
No, it's dope. You're doing it. Yeah.
It's funny, man, because, you know, the modern, we all use repetition. Repetition is amazing and important, and we should always use it. It's great for solidifying an idea, helping yourself understand an idea. But man, I mean, I feel like a lot of what's going on for many years, it's not new, but it's been like repetition, and more it's like, wow, this isn't redundant for y'all. Yeah, like this doesn't feel like you're not bored with. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I still entertain the idea of like, man, let's do something here to create a moment so that you have something else to look forward to within the composition. You know what I mean? Outside of this just static.
Yeah.
You know?
Making it feel more alive, you know?
Yeah.
Like I always describe it as like, I never want my songs to feel like I hit the space bar and like walked away, like, and then it's just like looping.
Your music has never felt like that. So,
well, thanks. Yeah, I try to have every. It has to like there has to be like at least one new thing, and usually it's the piano at least. Just kind of a thread throughout, because I don't sing. So like if you have like lyrics, then you have like verses and like
you don't sing yet. You know,
sing yet.
I think those days are coming. I think
funny.
they're going to hear Kiefer on the mic. You know, hey, Robert Glasper did it.
That's true, huh?
He did.
He did do a few things here and there.
He was saying when I saw him at the
Or is he doing
Billboard,
like vocoder, right? Turn this on.
I saw him singing at the Billboard. He was like on the mic singing.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like,
whoa.
I was like, I didn't see this coming.
Interesting.
You know, it was cool. But
interesting. Yeah.
The funny thing about me, I was never a singer. Like, that was the last thing.
What's up, Eli?
What's up, man?
Hi, guys.
We got Eli in the
Elijah
house.
Fox is in the building.
What's up, y'all?
My G.
Shaw, what you about to get into?
I'm about to go on this waterfall hike with my sister.
Ooh,
Aw.
nice.
That's beautiful.
Nice. Sounds good. Dude, we're
Taxes.
we're all over talking about taxes. We're talking about this administration. I'm gonna cut that. Yeah. Shoot, I wanted to ask you about the Rare Pleasures actually.
Word.
Because that's we were both on that record.
Yeah, I did some vocal production a little bit, and what else did I do? Honestly, yeah, I think it was Swarvy and Ringo. Like that was
Okay.
It was most of them too. What I can take credit for was the little part that I sang my little ba-da-da, you know what I'm saying, and I sang on three hands. I sang like some backgrounds with Fouché.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
But that record is amazing.
that record was so fun to
Put
be a
his
part
foot
of.
in that record, man.
Yeah. Like the cast on it, the vibe. I remember that garage studio was the illest studio.
Dude, that studio was so cool, man.
Hotel
I
Earth.
wish
Shout out Theo Karen.
Shout out Theo, bro. I wish that studio was.
I can't believe it was there for 1 year. It was there for like 2 years, I think.
It was such a vibe. I hate that word, but it was such a vibe.
It was such a vibe. It really was, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a studio out in, for those of you listening who don't know what we're talking about, it's a studio out in Eagle Rock, and a dude built it out of a garage he was renting.
Didn't feel like it either.
It didn't, and it did not feel like a garage. It was all wood paneling on the walls, and he had just stacks of outboard gear, just crazy. You know, like he got a bunch of stuff from like that Stevie Wonder was did songs with the Key of Life on all this stuff. Yeah, he had like, you know, the H3000 and all the Pultecs and just everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it really felt like you were back in 78 or something.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, wow, it felt really warm in there.
Yeah. And I did maybe 4 songs off of one of my albums, the When There's Love Around record there as well.
Let's go.
But so around the same time, it might have been like the month after Ringo did the Rare Pleasures sessions. That's how I found out about it. I was there and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm booking with Theo immediately because he had that studio rocking, man. It sounded so good.
Wasn't there a record that you had recorded at
Jeff's?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Jazzy Jeff's house. Yeah, we did. That was the same album. We did like I think maybe 3 or 4 songs there.
Okay, got
and then
you.
3 or 4 songs at Theo's place.
Heck yeah.
And then I had Russell Elevato mix that album.
That's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's so dope.
it wasn't cheap, but it was worth it.
He's like, yeah, so this voodoo fee.
But it was worth it, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm weak at the fact that you have a DX7 patch loaded up.
Oh, dude. I thought it would be, you know, I thought it would be appropriate.
I love it. I mean,
I had to get a Devin Morrison sound, something that he's familiar with.
Why am am I so synonymous with the DX7? It's so funny.
Bro, it sounds good. That's why.
Sounds great. It sounds great. I'm not mad at it.
Dude, I got some other questions that are when I read them, it's like, was I shrooming when I wrote this down? But
let's go. Were you?
Man, how about this one? Have you always been a confident musician?
No.
When did you? Because I think to write the music that you make, you got to be really confident. You can't, you know what I mean? You're not half-assing your way into writing these insane songs. So when did you start, you know what I mean, being really confident?
Well, when I moved to Tokyo, I was still trying to find my sound. You know, I mean, like, I knew I had talent. I knew I could write. You know, I got my composition degree, and I was like, yeah, I'm a composer. But I hadn't figured out a way to implement that. You know, utilize that. I was trying to be like you, low key. I was trying to make these beats and then like play over them, but I was like, man, like he does that so well. I got to figure out a way to carve my own lane. So, you know, just living in Tokyo and just spending more time out there, I was like, well, I miss home a lot, and I miss what I grew up listening to, and I kind of want to make that. And so in doing that, I kind of started finding my sound. I was like, oh, okay, no one's really doing this and at this level of understanding of composition and arrangement or whatever. You know, a lot of times when people try to do the 90s thing or 80s thing, it's a little cheesy, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand writing first, you know? So it's like, you got the sounds, you got the drums, kind of, but that bass line clashes with that chord you just played.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I think that was when I started to get a little more like, okay, I got a thing. And of course, like, just getting acclimated with the whole Tokyo underground scene and people becoming more familiar with me. In that, you know, I was like, okay, I have somewhat of a... It was affirming, you know what I'm saying? And so that helped.
You got a little following out there. Started to get people to, like, working with Buddha Monk and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's my dude. Shout out Buddha Monk.
Yeah, Lidley and
yeah. Shout out to Lidley. Shout out to Fitz. Shout out to Yotaro. Shout out to Ilsugi. You know, all those homies.
You know Mayumi?
Yeah.
Mayumi?
Yeah. Shout out to Mayumi. Yeah. I have a very fond memory of all that stuff. But there was also a moment where I was like overconfident, which I'm not proud of.
We've all done it.
You know, it's like when you drop that one record and like things are kind of, you know, you feeling yourself a little bit, you're like, yeah, you know, blah, 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 blah. This is why people need grace, bro, because when you go through these highs and lows of life, man, like you can get rocked to sleep, and people are going to remember how you treated them in that moment. And if that's a new sensation for you, it's difficult to navigate, especially if you had no prior warning. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I can't, like, you know, when I have a certain experience with an artist, especially here in LA, it happens all the time. You can't take it personally. You got to be like, all right, well, that might have been the day he was having. Because you might see him on a different day and it'll be a totally different situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a strange, like having a bunch of strangers liking your music, and you know, for us it's a certain amount, but you know, imagine if it was 10x that, 100x that, there's a warping of reality that comes along with that. 100%. And I think I've also become a little more understanding of like when I'm working with like artists that are on a level that I don't understand.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, you know, you know, it's, you know, I don't know, it's tricky.
There's
it's
a
like,
balance, man.
There's a line.
It's like, hopefully you've been in this thing long enough to where even despite this high you're on, you've had someone to be like, hey, you're doing a lot right now. And you're like, oh, okay, my bad.
Let me turn this thing on. This thing's going to drive me nuts.
We're trying to do a podcast.
Man, it's got the Toshiba with the VHS.
Yeah, man, my little combo VHS.
Where'd you cop that?
Oh, yeah, I got this little TV. I got it off of eBay, dude.
Word.
Got it for like $90 off eBay. It's like so fresh. It's like brand new.
That's tight.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. We're talking about this little like VHS, tiny little. What is it called? CRT screen?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I got it because My Design had one, and then I went to Kenny Beats Studio, and he had one too. I was like, all right, I want one. Because like while you're making beats, to have that on the side just feels so good.
It is cool.
Because I never had visuals while making beats before. Do you ever do that?
Like,
I feel like you're the type of guy that might do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes everything. Because, we use all of our senses, so even our peripherals can inspire what we're working on, you know what I'm saying? So sitting...
That was such a low-key, like, great tip right there.
It's true, though, because you feel it when you go to Ringo's house.
Yes.
When you go to Ringo's house, you're like, wow, this is such a cool environment. I can make anything in here. You know what I mean?
Dude, yes.
So...
Yeah.
Every now and again...
Like, I just love that peripherally. It can steer you.
Yeah, it can.
That's true.
Even, like, sometimes, like, Ringo will come over and I'm like, hey, why don't you want to feng shui the place a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Is there anything here that you would change?
You could have a career in interior design.
No, he really could.
Yeah, there's an alternate reality where he's doing that.
Yeah,
where he's doing like really deep like interior design, and that's like on a like if that man had a budget, if someone gave him like an unlimited budget to do like the craziest studios, I think he could do it better than anybody on the planet.
Bro,
think about it.
I agree.
We're talking about My Design right now. I think he could do that better than anybody on the planet.
I agree.
Like whoever the best interior designers are in the world, he would be in the top 100.
Yeah, because he's resourceful.
Like
he'll figure out how to make this little piece of wood block fit right perfectly in between this keyboard and this keyboard.
Yeah,
and it's like
his spatial awareness, also like and he's doing this, by the way, with like recycled things, or upcycle stuff he found from a garage sale. It's like, how do you find this stuff? And then he has like a really funny sense of scale, like things it's crazy what he's doing with like just a small space in his like studio or his living room or whatever. But
I always wondered what it would be like if he had my house and I had his house. I feel like my house would look so much cooler if it was his house.
Oh yeah, me too, dude. When I walk over, every time I walk in My Design's house, I immediately get so insecure. I'm like, I'm lame. I'm so lame. I'm such just a normal human.
Oh my gosh, man,
dude, it's really inspiring. I learned so much from that. I mean, he's actually the inspiration behind so many things that I do. Like, obviously, he's kind of the Ubermensch of our like scene, But
what?
Ubermensch.
That's a new word.
Like Jazzy Jeff is an Ubermensch. Ubermensch is. Let me look up the actual definition.
So I'm learning a new word today.
Maybe I just meant mensch. What is mensch? What does mensch mean? A Yiddish word, informal term that describes a person who is kind, thoughtful, honorable, and has integrity, morality, and dignity. See, that's more what I thought. But I thought, like, by Ubermensch, what I meant was like he's like a linchpin for our scene.
Yeah.
And like he's helped so many people and inspired so many. It's like crazy. Like we're talking hundreds of artists who are amazing.
For sure. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Like my first day here after I got deported from Tokyo and came to LA, was staying with Soups. He was like, yo, My Design wants to meet you. I'm like, my first day?
Dude,
I was like, yeah, let's go. And we linked that with him and Swarvy and been cool with him ever since, so. Yeah.
He's so legendary. I feel like everyone remembers when they met him. Everyone's got a story or like because like for me, I went to Low End Theory. I saw a bunch of other people on the bill that night.
Word.
The only one I remember was
Theory
him.
Whole scene. I missed it.
It was great, dude. But yeah, I saw this dude go up there and he was flipping like piano samples all night.
Word.
And I was like, damn. And I just liked that because obviously I play piano, and I then the beats were amazing. And then I remember just like, when you like see somebody that like later on you just kind of like manifest. You're like, I'm gonna end up making music with this guy somehow. I can just tell. Not that I'm gonna like force my way in there, but I just know I'm going to run into this guy type energy.
Right.
Like if everyone else that played that night, like I saw Scoop DeVille, he was incredible.
Word.
But I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to end up making music with Scoop DeVille. I saw mine, and I was like, that's going to happen some way or another. And then it was literally like 2 months later, I was playing in Iman Omari's band, and we were at his house.
Word.
And the show ended up being at his house. And then I saw him, I was like, isn't that guy from that thing?
You went to UCLA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to like navigate what to do with all this knowledge and skill after, you know, doing your tenure there?
Yes. And I would say, especially in the sense of like, a lot of it is really extraneous and not necessary, you know? Like I would go into sessions and like be able to play like, you know, like random stuff that isn't necessarily useful. Like it took me a long time to kind of like realize like, you know, it's a similar theme to what we were talking about earlier, where like you get this like really built up confidence from something, and then you realize like, oh, actually I ain't shit. Because like when I was in school, I was one of the better musicians in the program, and I wasn't the best, but I was one of the better ones.
That sounded so fun.
Does that sound cocky?
I know it's true, but that still was hilarious.
Oh my god! I probably sound like it. See, there's another moment. See, man, I need to chill.
What's funny is I would have said something like that. That's how I would have phrased. Because I know your intentions are pure, but I know that's exactly how I would have said the same thing. I was one of the better people at.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good on podcast.
I mean, it was a small program. That makes it worse. Does that make it worse? I don't know. Anyway, I was solid. Okay. Yeah. And but then I thought when I left school that I would just be like, that the, you know, opportunities would just open themselves up to me just because I was a decent musician in a college program, which is just not how it works. And it's a jazz program. So like, you know how jazz musicians are. They tend to, especially coming out of school. Yeah. There's a lot of false confidence, and there's a bit of a superiority complex that comes from going to jazz school, and that's whole other discussion I could go so deep into. I won't get into it, but there's a reason why that there's a trend that like jazz musicians coming out of school think that they're the shit, and then they'll go into like a session where they're making rap beats and think like, you guys don't know what you want. I know how to play what the producer wants. They just don't know that they like it yet, because what I'm playing is better. And I'll just play what I play, and they'll hear it, and they're going to think this is amazing. And here's the crazy thing is, you don't even consciously think that. Like, you just subconsciously. It's this like level of arrogance that a lot of musicians have coming out of music school. Yeah. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I was one of these kids. It's arrogance you don't even know that you have. Word. It's like I didn't consciously think I was better than anyone else. But it had been ingrained from music school. This really like, because you don't play with other musicians most 99% of the time you're only playing with jazz musicians, so you think that that's like the center of the universe. Right. And so I had a lot of experiences where, nothing. I never got into like, never. It was never dramatic, or it was never like. I was just being like, why don't they like my music? Like, and then I was like, how come they don't like it? And then I realized like, because they don't like it. Right. They don't have to like it.
And they don't exactly.
And also like, and think about being in rooms where people do like resonate with what you make, and then B, also think about like, of the music you love to make, where do you overlap with people? When you collaborate with people, you got to think about like, it doesn't mean I'm throwing away the stuff that I love to make music that's maybe slightly different than what I knew before. Right. It's just like, think about how I connect with people, dude. Yeah. So I just had to learn how to do that. But like, one of the stories that I think about all the time was like, I was at Ringo's house, and it could have been Swarvey, it could have been Ali. It was just a bunch of us, and passing on the aux, and every time I'd show them the shit I was listening to, they would you could just see it on their face that they just were not. They're like, what is this shit?
What were you playing?
But see, I was picking stuff where my understanding of music was like playing, like musicianship. But the records were trash. So it would be like this Mulgrew Miller record, but it's like from the 80s. So like it's produced badly. So like the bass is DI and the hi-hat is super pingy and just like it's just unlistenable from like a record playing standpoint.
Listen to that chord.
But I'm like,
Right
he's like, you know, and there's like, yeah. Like, okay, and they say, and then they're just like talking. They're not even listening to it, you know. And then Swarby would play some shit. He'd play like, you know, some I don't even fucking know, like some cracked out whatever. And then they're like, oh my god, you know, I'm like, why can't I get that reaction when I play this stuff? and I had things like that happen, you know, over and over and over and over again in different ways. And then I was realizing like, I'm just not. There's something I'm missing. I need to train my ears.
Yeah,
it's like when I got into music school and I had to train my ears for this thing, and then I realized with like records and beat making and, you know, producing and mixing and all these other things, like sonically I needed to train my ears.
Right.
And I just didn't have good ears at that point for that sort of thing.
I feel like music can be too intellectual sometimes, and like if it requires you to use your brain too much, then it kind of makes it difficult for you to listen with your body and your heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I got to think about this too much. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know what's funny? Before I went to school, you know, I was always a big hip hop head. But before I went to school for composition, I was like, man, I'm gonna go here, man. I might not like hip hop as much anymore. You know? Whoa. And after my 5 years, because it should have been 4, but after my 5 years, I was like, okay, nah, not really. It didn't exactly make me dislike it, but it did make me listen harder and observe certain things, like kind of having like an HD lens. And HD ain't always a vibe. I kind of miss.
Damn.
I kind of miss having the 480p lens on music. You know what I mean? Because now I'm like,
that's one of the most interesting things I've ever heard someone say about music. yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can recall a time when your knowledge of music wasn't where it is now, but it was a little bit more blissful of an experience to listen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even though there is enjoyment in listening to music and being able to be like, oh yeah, you're playing this right here. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's also like, dang it, I can't enjoy this anymore.
Dude, I knew. You know what's crazy? When I listened to your music, I was literally like at the store earlier today, buying like it doesn't matter, sparkling water. I'm addicted. It doesn't matter. The point is, I was thinking this exact thing. I knew that this topic would come up. I could tell by listening to your music that I think we have this thing in common, that because of the Dreamsoul idea, the Dreamsoul idea, as I understand it, is one night you heard music in your dream and it was beyond anything you'd ever heard.
Exactly.
And it's this amazing romantic idea of like chasing that which you cannot yet grasp, and you're trying to manifest it in the real world.
I couldn't even tell you a note, because, and this is what I imagine heaven is like, in the idea of music. I would imagine music in heaven is like this, to where like I can't even comprehend one note within this harmonic structure, but it feels like I'm high off something. Bro. You know what I mean? And I remember waking up like, what was that? Because I'll even paint the picture for you. In the dream, I'm like, man, I'm like in space. I'm like in like some kind of space covered by stars and whatever, and I'm just floating. And it's just like every motion I made was like a sound. It was a sound, and it all kind of came together in the most like free flowing. Didn't feel like there was a tempo, but it felt like there was like, I don't even know how to describe it, bro. It was just so indescribable. You know what I mean? I'm like, this must be what heaven is. This must be the sensation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This must be, I must be, close to whatever the idea of God is. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that is, this must be, I must be in the ballpark here. Cause I can't even, so ever since I've been like, how do I get there? How do I hit that again?
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah.
You're reaching so high.
But I tell you
what,
I tell you what, the closest that I ever feel to that, especially harmonically, is when I listen to these church cats, man. Like Jaden Arnold.
I'm not familiar. Jaden Arnold?
Bruh.
On YouTube, or where should I look
Anywhere.
it up?
Yeah, YouTube.
Jaden Arnold.
Because the funny thing is, on Instagram, he's really funny. Like he has such a hilarious.
Is he a keys player?
Yeah, and organ. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But he casually, very casually, will play the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, and it's like, what? How'd you even think of that? Mind you, he's been like better than me since he was like 9. I'm not joking. Like, he's been cold since he was a kid, and
is he our age?
He's younger than us. He's younger than us. Yeah, because I remember because he went to my aunt's church.
I think I've seen him before.
Dude, he's crazy.
Play one time, Jaden Arnold. Play it one time for me, Jaden. Play it from your spirit. Just play, Jaden.
Is this video going?
Yeah, try it.
Wow. Woo! Oh. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, this is nuts.
Hold on.
I know, this is not even harmony yet. This is just... the most dynamic playing you could possibly do. Yeah. Dude, he's done like 50 different things tonally. Woo! Woo!
Like how do you?
Bro,
and he finishes it so perfect.
When he flipped the Leslie off at the end, like just the way he's using the Leslie is so perfect.
Yeah, and he looks like he's not even trying.
I know.
That's what pisses me off.
Man. That's a master.
And that's not even him chording out. Like, that was a straight church.
I know that wasn't even. I was expecting something totally different. I gotta find him like doing some chords.
If y'all haven't already, like go check out Jake.
That was just like the most dynamic playing imaginable, and just like changing the bar with the draw bars, changing the tone, and the flipping the Leslie on and off, and the volume pedal and the percussion.
Yeah, man, crazy,
like,
very dynamic.
He did like
he's using it like a synthesizer
all at the same time. Yeah, he's doing all these. Dude,
but it's those cats, man. Him, Travis Sales,
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even Corey Henry, freaking monster, freaking
Eddie Brown. Do you remember Eddie Brown?
I was thinking about him. I just saw him in Tokyo when I was out there last.
Nuts,
bro. I go to this thing, and it's Eddie Brown playing with Bubby Lewis.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I remember at one point in the night, Bubby's like, "Yo, come on!" I'm like,
like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
What are you like? Come on, man!" I'm like,
Dude,
so I get on keys, I play my little thing, and I remember afterwards, Eddie was like, "Man, like, I love what you're doing."
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, he has to love you. I don't know Eddie, but he has to love your
that's
music.
That's still weird for me, man. Like, it's still weird when like people who I looked up to. Or like, even like you, it was like, "Oh, what, y'all like what I do? Okay, cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's the imposter syndrome thing where you just assume people are lying to you. I have this thing where people will give me compliments and I will just immediately be like, oh, they're lying to me.
I've felt this from you.
I'll be like, all right, that's enough. Yeah, I'm the worst. I need to learn how to like chill. But yeah, like Eddie Brown was one for me. I used to watch his videos on YouTube. Or the biggest one for me in gospel would be Aaron Lindsay. Aaron Lindsay, because I found him because I was such a big Marvin Sapp fan.
Okay, wow. How did that happen?
Bro, okay, it's really this simple. So I was in school. There was this pianist named Julian Lay, who great pianist, and he was also like into some like gospel stuff as well. And then he told me, I was like, who do you listen to? And he told me about Travis Sales and Terrence Vaughn, who's another great keyboardist who played with James Fortune. So I found James Fortune, but I remember this is in the era where Spotify wasn't quite a thing yet. It's like in my freshman year of college. Yep. And I was literally ripping CDs. So I went to the UCLA Music Library, which, as you might imagine, does not have a lot of black gospel music, as it turns out. However,
probably not.
However, they did have a few things. They had a Marvin Sapp CD. That's how I found it.
Wait, which one?
That's how I found it. Thirsty.
Oh.
Which is a funny name for an album. But anyway, stop it. Pause. What am I doing? Stop. Sorry. I don't mean to disrespect Marvin Sapp.
No, you're right though.
Okay.
I love Marvin.
I found that album and I just, dude, I mean, it's just the most beautiful music. It's the most beautiful music. Just absolutely. Top to bottom, that whole album is unbelievable. Aaron Lindsay, Calvin Rogers is on drums, so I couldn't help but I listened to that top to bottom. That got me through some hard times. Thirsty, Here I Am, Win, all those records. I know them by heart, bro. Those three I know.
Crazy.
I could sing every single fill from everybody through the entire album. I have listened to that album as much as any other album in my entire life. If I put Here I Am on right now, I could sing you the entire record. Like every Aaron Lindsay fill, I could sing everything.
What was that one album that had that one white dude playing guitar? I forget his name.
I wouldn't even know.
Gosh, man.
The only musicians I know are those two, Calvin Rogers and Aaron Lindsay. I wouldn't even know who else is in the band.
That's crazy. I never would have took you for a Marvin Sapp fan.
Dude.
That's so cool, though.
Deep into Marvin Sapp's music. I love his music. Man, that band was incredible. And Aaron Lindsay was doing a lot of the arrangements from what I understand. So then I started watching his videos. There's a video of him doing his arrangement of, I think, Shout Unto God, which is just like unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable how he plays. And, he's playing drop twos and these crazy walk-ups. And every time he plays it, every time it comes around, he has a different reharmonization every single time. And it's modern, but actually not. It's actually really fundamental stuff that he's doing in a really hip way. Kind of like this chord change I was pointing out earlier that you did, where I can't remember who you attributed it to, but the one is like a 2/5, but it's like the E flat 7 sharp 11 to the A flat alt, whatever. Like stuff like that, where it's like it sounds really modern, but then you look at it and you're like, oh, this is actually really fundamental.
Right.
That's coming back to that theme of like, once I found out what it was, though, it kind of loses the magic a little bit. It's like, again, it's like seeing that thing in HD. But before I really, but that's the thing. It's still magical when other people hear it, though. You play it and then people fall out of their chairs. But like, he's got stuff like that where it's just constantly.
I would always tell like people who like are asking about chords, like the most important thing with harmony is context, because. Like that's all cool, but like in a different context, each of those chords will be like, woo, you know what I'm saying? Because what comes before and after, even a conversation, like what comes before and after what you say matters a lot. You know what I mean? Like the context is very pertinent.
Whenever people go, what's your favorite chord? And you're like,
I always play something stupid, so they go,
yeah, you just make something up. I looked at the screen to see. I looked at the corner.
Exactly. That's exactly what they do. Like, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny. What's your favorite chord? And I'm just like, man, it's context.
It's context.
Sometimes
man.
the hippest thing is literally like a C major triad, but it could be because the band's playing this other thing, and then you just and they counteract
over
the top, and then people are falling out of their chairs. Yeah. They don't know you're playing a C major.
There are chords that feel good to play. I'll say that there are chords
That's
that
true.
Whenever I go there, I'm just like, home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. F sharp minor. I was just gonna see if I got it right.
yeah, we're like,
oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, all day.
Those always feel nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Whatever, but
that's true.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when I was in Tokyo, I was hanging with Fitz Ambrose, and it's like one of our first times hanging out, and he didn't know much about me, so like he pulls out a keyboard, and I'm just like laying something down. He's like, yo, man, like, where'd you learn the butters? That's how we.
Where'd you learn what?
Where'd you learn the butters?
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you learn? I'm like this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, because for me, I wasn't even doing anything special. You know what I mean? I was just playing some whatever, maybe some minor 7, major 7 stuff, whatever.
Sure.
And he was like, yo, man, when'd you learn the butters? And then, but he didn't have the context of like what I come from. He didn't have the context of like growing up in church and going to school and blah blah blah. To me, I'm just like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So to me, it was
context. Like,
Anyway.
Yeah. How do you? So, I feel like there's of everything we've talked about. There's kind of this theme of like the unknown, the familiar versus the familiar. Mm-hmm. Like again, in your example, these things sound normal to you because of the context that how you grew up and how you learned.
Right.
They sound normal, but then to everyone else, to me, it sounds crazy, dude. Like, and then there's that thing you mentioned about, for you, music sounds best when you don't really know what it is. And right, or it's like, and then you like when we go to heaven or when we go to the afterlife, that music will be this mystery. We'll be hearing music that's so amazing we won't know what it is.
Yeah,
and that's the Dreamsoul idea as well. Like, how, I don't know.
It's just the idea.
How do we achieve that? How do we achieve making music that is both unfamiliar and mysterious, while
but also feels good?
Yeah, but then once we know it, I don't know. How do you make Dreamsoul music?
How do you make Dreamsoul music? Well, technically, Yesterday by Paul McCartney, Beatles, whatever. Technically, that's Dreamsoul. He heard that song in a dream.
Wow.
And he woke up and wrote it. And there's been times when I've been able to take a few notes or maybe a chord or two from a dream, and but it's always like AI. It's like sounds kind of weird. Sounds kind of weird in this consciousness, in this context.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. The real question is I don't know, because I just try to take whatever I hear in these dreams and be like, all right, what's the idea? How does this feel? So Dreamsoul is really a poor imitation of what actually, what's really going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I just found a way to kind of stylize it and kind of make it my own. I'm sure your Dreamsoul will sound different, and I hope it is.
One time I had a song that I heard in a dream, and in the middle of the night I wrote it down, and then when I woke up in the morning, it was just like a it was a song that I'd already made. And I was just like, all right.
Word.
I was close.
Really?
No, I mean, I said, no, I mean, I'm not saying it was like amazing. I'm just saying it was just a song that was stuck in my head.
Oh, it was a song.
It wasn't even a particularly good one. It was like a beat I made that week or something. You know?
That's what's up, though.
I was presenting that as a joke.
I feel like that scratches the surface.
I wasn't implying that I've achieved this anything amazing.
No, I got you. I'm. That's hilarious. 'Cause I'm just like,
I was just like, yeah, but yeah, I have had similar experiences where I've heard music in a dream, and in this case, it is actually something that is yet to be written, and I've always, yeah. But when I hear you talk about your experience, and to like make that the actual, you know, an idea that you've expanded on so far, I think that's a really awesome. It's like a manifesto for you. It's like you have like an artist manifesto, which is really cool.
Kinda. Yeah, it's weird, man. Because if I feel like if I was making the kind of music I heard in my dreams, it would be labeled like a drug, like it'd be a narcotic. Because that's how it felt, you know. So this is more so like okay, this is the ballpark of what that sound was, but
yeah,
I'm still exploring. But whenever I hear like a lot of like just more surreal sounding things, I'm always like tickled by that. Like, you know, Prefab Sprout. I don't know if you got into the metal.
No.
So interesting. Their music is like, they give it the name Sophistopop.
Whoa, okay.
But like they were really a thing in the 80s. Their songwriting is actually brilliant. Like the way Patty McAloon kind of like writes certain things. How he phrases things like I'm trying to think of a line. He says here she is with two small problems and the best part of the blame, wishing she could call him heartache. Sorry, yeah, wishing she could call him heartache, but it's not a boy's name. So he's talking about like his girlfriend. Like the things he writes is so crazy, but at the same time, like melodically, he's like, "What are you doing? Like this is so informed." One thing I really appreciate is when writers and artists play around with form and kind of veer away from traditional formats of like arrangement. Like, okay, let's make this chorus 3 bars long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you do stuff like that too. I've definitely noticed that in your music as well.
I try. It's hard. That's always a conscious effort too, because it's not an instant. I'm like, okay, I have to 4 bars in the chorus.
Yeah,
8 bars.
I always do things in 4 and 8s, and it's just like, man, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
But I've also like, you know, messed around with like 3-bar phrases, adding a half bar here and there. You know, I think it's important to do that.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a MySpace music back in the day? What was like the first time you ever? Yeah, were you like? Was there like a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
Devin Morrison dropping.
Yeah, his name was Decline.
Woo!
Because that was straight edge at the time.
Dang.
Yeah, and my name was Decline.
Decline,
yeah, man.
Dang. You got to release some of that stuff.
Oh, I don't know about that, my boy. But
dude, DJ Harrison told me that in 2002, he made a Weather Report cover.
What?
Playing all the instruments.
That's probably hard.
I know.
It's probably fire.
I was like, I need to hear that.
He probably hates
and
it.
He's like, nah, it's trash. I'm like, yeah, I know, but also,
right? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure, but also, we're never gonna hear that.
Send the MP3.
There's no way he's sharing that with us.
Devon, if you watch this, send the MP3, please. Thank you.
There you go. But yeah, man, we got to hear the Devin Morrison.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
They're just like the most poorly mixed and most
where were you using like
repetitive beats. FL Studio.
FL?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I have some garage band tapes out there somewhere.
The GBs?
Hell yeah. I got some GB tapes. Come on in, Luke. We got a special guest, Luke Titus, popping in. No, this is a feature of the podcast. Dude, get in here.
What's good, Luke?
Hell yeah.
You too, man.
Want to pop on the frame really quick, dude?
Luke Titus.
Say hello to
ladies
the
and
people.
gentlemen.
That's Luke Titus.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell
I
yeah.
don't know what that was for, but yeah.
Yeah, man. I got to hear the old the Devmo tapes.
How'd you find Luke, man? Because I remember when I first saw y'all play, I was like, "Who's this drummer,
Bro?
Like, this dude is so cold,
Bro, he's the man. He's really
yeah,
doing some new stuff with the instrument.
he don't miss nothing.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, we've been going for a good. This is one of the longer episodes I've ever done. It's so fun to talk to you, man.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Likewise.
Yeah, so many interesting things, music, approaches to music, and dude, you just got so many great ideas. I just really appreciate you, sharing your expertise, sharing your perspective, with our audience here.
And love y'all for listening and watching.
Hell yeah, we love you too, man. We really do. We love and appreciate you and your musicality as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been yet another episode of Approachable Music, the AM pod, if you will.
Yes, sir.
So wherever you are, from the comfort of your own homes, please make some noise. For my dear friend, this is Devin Morrison, everybody.